Okay, good afternoon and I want to say good morning, but it's noon now. So good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday. I hope everyone's Monday is starting off amazing and you guys are motivated to have the best week that you can have. Remember, being amazing isn't an intentional thing. So sometimes things come at you and there's all types of hurdles and life is just life, but we have to push through. We can't let Mondays and the different blunders that come with it affect our week. So today we are kicking off the edition of the Amazing Author Catalog with author K.A. Steed. She adds to the Amazing Author Catalog, We Can't Do It, which is an amazing children's fiction book. It's inspirational, it's encouraging, it's inclusive. So guys, help me welcome author K.A. Steed. Good afternoon. So her name is Keisha. So Keisha, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us what you do for work, how long you've been an author, and what is your vision for your future work as an author?
So, good afternoon. First, thank you so much for having me. My pen name is K.A. Steed. My real name is Keisha. My day job is I'm a scientist. I work on drug trials, so bringing drugs from the clinic um, and bringing drugs kind of from the bench to the clinic. So, bringing them to you is what I do. But also, I'm an author and I've been writing forever, from poetry to songs, and then really looking at children's books. And so started that about 2010. This book came out in 2014.
Okay.
And so ideas for future work, I have more on the horizon. So I want to take these characters and we want to kind of walk through life with them and see what happens as first grade challenges third grade and then what happens after that.
Okay, awesome. So it sounds amazing. I'm looking forward to see what comes next and supporting you through all of that. So I see in the beginning you dedicated your book to Miss Riley. Can you tell us about Miss Riley and how she encouraged you and made a lasting impact?
So Miss Riley was my kindergarten teacher.
Wow.
And the lasting impact that she made was that she told my parents after working with me for just a little bit in kindergarten, she said, whatever you do, keep her in the arts. She's a
Wow.
creative. And she saw that in me in kindergarten. And that's always kind of been something that I've stuck with from music to writing. And I think that's kind of helped steered me, even though I work in science, that the creative part of me has always been developed. And I attribute that for her seeing that to her.
That's beautiful. That is amazing. So, and then you're revealing stuff that I didn't know. Has any of your poetry been published?
It has more at the collegiate level. So we
Mhm.
did kind of like an anthology, but we used to host open mics and spoken
Right.
word all the time. So that was our thing Sundays, Sunday afternoons in grad school as everybody came to the house and we just, everybody would spit.
That's exciting. It's exciting to learn about you. What about your songs? Have you written for anybody that we know about?
I haven't. I haven't. So I would just write. We would sing in college and in grad school. Um, and we would just want to tweak different verses. So not a whole published song, but
Mhm.
instead of maybe the altos coming in like this, what if we tweak it and the sopranos come in and then the altos
Right.
follow?
That's
So
cool. So, fun fact about me, I remember writing a song in fourth and fifth grade, but it's definitely nothing to tell anybody about or to share with anybody. So I guess it goes back to that the creative space. I remember reading in elementary, writing poetry, like you said, writing that one song. I keep away from music, but I feel really, really comfortable in the poetry space or in the writing space. So we have some things in common here. All right. So Keisha, I wanted to talk because most of the authors in the Amazing Author Catalog are self-published authors. We have a few that have some small publishing houses, but it's exclusive to that audience. You were able to be published traditionally. Can you tell us a little bit about going that route? What are some of the pros and the cons? Would you encourage that? What do you see as far as the pros and cons or self-publishing versus traditional publishing?
so I'd say self-publishing versus traditional. I went the traditional route, but it could almost be discouraging
Okay.
because you're sending manuscripts over and over to a lot of different houses, and
Right.
really they're looking for someone who already has an established audience. And so back when I was looking, that was really maybe the only route to go. There
Okay.
wasn't much of a push behind self-publishing. There weren't as many um, printers that are available now. There was It was exciting to be able to work with a team. So I had
Hmm.
an illustrator. I could go in and do the voice and read the book. And so kind of work with a team. They allowed me, because they were a smaller house, they allowed me a lot of creative control,
Okay,
which you don't
good.
always get in like the larger houses. But since that time, that house has disbanded.
Okay.
So now I'm back to really considering self-publishing, because again, now we can,
Do so much
it
more.
gives us more control
Yeah.
uh, to self-publish. So kind of really looking into that.
Yeah, and I've done some shopping in my book, not a lot. I did say with my future book, that's something I wanted to look forward to, like you said, just for that marketing promotion, people taking having a team,
Yeah,
because publishing you are the team. You said something that I wanted to touch on. I forgot what it was. Oh, you talked about, which is one of my questions down the line about doing an audiobook. So you did your own audio reading of your book?
I did.
That's cool. How
And
was
so
that?
I really enjoyed it. I think because as the author, you know what it sounds like.
I love it.
You know what the characters feel. And so unless that person really gets a chance to know you, or at least gets a chance to spend time with how you want it to sound, it could
Yeah.
almost sound different than the way you wrote it.
Yeah, I love it. So is that still available? Because I see that's on the cover of your book. Can you still hear the audio download?
You can. What I'm planning to do is probably redo the book and do another. So the link is still available, but
Okay,
I'd like to do that again.
awesome.
Uh,
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, we're looking forward to the what we call that, the second edition of We Can't Do It.
mhm.
All right, so let's talk about the setting of We Can't Do It. So it's an elementary school setting. It's a field day setting, and I think many of us can remember the field days of our time, right? They're usually fun, they're exciting, but they also can be anxiety provoking, especially if there's a competition piece in it, right? So I think that's kind of what you're kind of displaying. You do a good job of sharing what that looks like. But then if you're in a competition setting, you see yourself as the smaller person, the younger person, the less competent person, it can be very scary. So tell us about, did you have an experience like that in elementary school about field day?
I didn't have this exact experience, but I remember the excitement of field day.
Hmm.
But then, like you mentioned, that anxiety piece of, but what if I don't come in first?
Hmm.
Or what if I'm not fast? And so it was that. So as I was writing it, that was the part that I got first, was the description of first grade, and then the description of third grade.
Yeah.
And
So did you dread field day or were you excited about your field days when you were younger?
I was excited about field day, except for probably one of the events.
Okay.
That army pull up where you're pulling up the rope. That I was not excited about.
And I think some kids are like, am I going to get picked for the team? Am I, so it could be. So I like this book and I feel like it's relevant, right? Even though you said you published it in 2014, no matter what age you are, parents can relate to it. And then our kids are going to experience something like that. So I like that We Can Do It is encouraging. I love that it has the diverse characters on the book. Oh, there we go. Um, was that your idea as far as the images, or was it your publishers, your illustrators?
So it was, and I'm gonna kind of pick it apart really quick,
Go for
because
it. Move it
when I
over.
when I was little, or when we were little, we didn't have characters that looked like us. The only thing that maybe resembled us could have been Brown, the Berenstein Bears. And so I wanted kids that looked like the kids in their world. So you have someone here who is in a wheelchair. You have
Yeah,
someone who has blonde hair. You have someone with brown hair. You have someone with red hair, different eye colors, just so that it helps kids see themselves in the story. And you don't have to imagine if the
I love
kid
it.
actually looks like me.
Or if
And
you
so,
fit in, I love it.
right, or if you fit in.
Yeah, or can see yourself in the pages. And I picked up on that. I saw that. I'm like, I love that she has someone in a wheelchair. I love that they have different hairstyles. So they have curly hair, they have straight hair, they have poofy, bigger hair. They have the high top fade. So I
Yep.
was looking at that and I'm like, you know what, I love it. So that's one thing that as an author for myself, I think Black and brown representation is important, but we also want to make sure books reflect what we really experience, what we see in the world. What does our classroom look like? What do the
Mhm.
hospitals and the schools and the buildings and the churches look like? Because they are mostly not one-sided. So you did a great job there. So kudos to you there again.
Yeah.
All right, so I like that your book showcases when things look grim, it only takes one person to change that narrative to be, positive, to be encouraging, to look at the other side of things or the potential of things. So at first it was a kid saying, "Hey, I think we can win." And then it was a teacher who wanted to also encourage and empower the kids to win. So tell us about the message you wanted to share with the kids, families, and even school administrators with We Can't Do It.
So first with the kids, I wanted them to know that with confidence and hard work that they can do it. And
Hmm.
so the teacher in the book is actually called Miss Confidence because that's what she brings.
Okay.
And so for parents and administrators, for that to be our same message, for us to be the people with confidence and helping to push our kids forward. She says a line in the book that says, "You have to believe in yourselves the way that I believe in you."
I
And
love
I
it.
think for all of us parents and aunties and teachers, like that's our message that we have to give to our kids. Like, you got to believe in you because I already do.
Good. I love it. That's beautiful. Great messaging. So We Can't Do It also teaches us to not underestimate people, right? Whether they're younger, whether they're
Mhm.
smarter, no matter the history. What do you hope every child gains after reading We Can't Do It?
I hope every child gains the confidence, but I hope they also gain the curiosity and the interest to kind of to look forward to trying. That the belief in ourselves should propel us to try again. And if we don't get it, try one more time.
Yeah. So one of the things I believe that books do is encourage and empower and give empathy. So what I like to do when I read books with my son and with my nieces and my nephews is to question them. Like, okay, after we enjoyed the book, what did we learn? How can we see ourselves in the book? What can you connect with? So I think what We Can Do It is a great opportunity to say, okay, well, when has there been a time where you may have been afraid or you may have doubted yourself? Or you may have seen someone scared. How can you encourage someone and how can you encourage yourself? So I just wanted to share that for anyone who's watching live or watching later. After you read We Can Do It, ask some of those probing questions to get your kids to think and really get the most out of We Can Do It. What are your thoughts on that, Keisha?
I absolutely agree. At the end of the book, there's even a note to parents, kind of
Uh,
summarizing what I was thinking and even giving them an activity to do together. But
yeah.
absolutely, it's not just a one time read. It's okay, the next time we have a challenge, let's read it again and figure out what can we do to approach this challenge.
Yeah. So your book was published a while ago, but you have a son now. What are some things that he's reading or that you read to him?
We're we're reading. We have one in a Spanish language book, and so it's about this whale that doesn't like donuts. We have another one, Pete the cat, and so we like Pete the cat just for the rhyming and the small
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Uh, we read this, and so now it's applicable because he's a little bit bigger, and they're gonna have field day.
So that's fine. So does he know mom's an author? Does he know this is your book?
Yes and no. He comes to the events and he likes the pictures, but I don't think he's
He
still. I don't
is
think he.
not clicking just yet, right? Or it's not a big deal because you're mom, right? Awesome. All right. So as we're about to wrap up, what do you want us to know about We Can't Do It that we haven't talked about?
I'd say that the last line kind of lets you know that something else is coming. That they say if they can beat third grade, then they can do anything,
Mhm.
even go to second grade. So it's
Awesome.
just that there's more coming.
Awesome. We're going to hold you to that. So as we wrap up, let's get light and loose. I like to ask a few light and loose questions just so we can get a little bit of your personality and have a little fun. So what's one piece of advice would you give your younger self if you were about to face a big field day event?
I'd say to breathe,
Oh, I like it.
breathe and enjoy.
Yeah, I love that because I feel like we don't teach kids that young. I feel like that's something I deploy now, right before an interview, before
Mm-hmm.
speaking, before, a big event. That's something I really try to take anywhere from 1 minute to 10 minutes to just sit and breathe and
Mm-hmm.
relax. So I love it. So yes, let's teach our kids to do that early. All right, so let's pretend We Can't Do It has its own theme song. What song would you pick to play in the background as the kids are lining up for field day to kick the third graders' butt?
Ooh, that's a good one. So my brother has a song and
Mm,
it's called I Cannot Lose.
I love
And
it.
so the intro to the theme music sounds like you're walking into a stadium and it's really big.
Mm,
And then in the chorus just keeps saying, I know that I cannot lose.
I love it. So that sounds like something we should all listen to and be encouraged of. It sounds like a good morning motivation or a good pre-event song. How can we find that song?
His name is Kyle Alexander, and he's on wherever meet or wherever music is sold.
Okay. And the title is We Can't Lose.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're adding that to the playlist. So my final question, and I've been loving what the authors have been saying in response to this, if you could choose any three people to be in your ideal book club, who would it be and why?
Ooh, my ideal book club. So I'm gonna bring Mrs. Riley
Okay,
just
I
because
love
I
it.
like her insights. Um, I would bring my little guy now just because he's so curious. And then maybe my mama,
Oh,
my
why
mommy, because she loves to read and she's usually just game for an adventure.
I love it. I love it. Sounds like my mom. My
Mhm.
mom is
It is. Your
a
mom
good
is that.
time. She's a good time. I'm writing that down and James Lee Jr. All right, perfect. So this has been an amazing interview, another edition of the amazing author catalog. We've got the books with author K.A. Steed. She is the author of We Can't Do It, but she has more to come, so please stay tuned. I know you're not really big on social media, but if someone wanted to kind of stay connected with you or learn more about what's coming up with you, how can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook. So under that, I'm Keisha Lee. And then I will. I'll be joining online soon.
I love it. I love it. All right. So she's going to be increasing her online presence, but for now, you can find her works in the Amazing Author Catalog, the second edition, and at a book fair near you. So make sure you guys are on the Amazing Author Catalog book fair. Excuse me, the amazingauthor.com mailing list so you can know about all of our book fairs, upcoming events, and you can grab Keisha's book right now at theamazingcorner.com/shop. We Can't Do It. Keisha, what age group is this for?
This I've been reading from kindergarten all the way through elementary, so K through 5.
Nice. Perfect. Perfect. All right, guys, you've been amazing. Keisha, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I know Mondays are tough. We got a lot of things pulling at us. So I appreciate your discretionary effort. Guys, that's it for now. We will see you tomorrow at noon. You guys have an amazing day.
Yeah.